Welcome back to Stocklabs, another market recap. 2 weeks into 2024 already, and it was a pretty good week for markets. I kind of mentioned in the prior recap coming in, I was expecting, some just more of an up move this week than anything off kind of the first early year softness. And yeah, indices kind of moved higher this week. NASDAQ was the outperformer, up 3.3%. Basically went up every day, Monday to Friday. And S&P up 1.9%. Not bad. The Dow only up 0.4, and the Russell was dead flat, up 2 bips. So yeah, I mean the mega cap stuff was trading well, and people kind of took their first shot at the dip from the first week of the year. Gold flattish, up 0.2. Bonds were also flat, up 16 basis points. So nothing really to go off with the bond market. I mean, it was, I guess you could say, stable for the week. So investors felt like they could buy some equity exposure with that. If we look at the mega caps, if this thing is going to load, mega caps were pretty good this week. Like I mentioned, NASDAQ was strong. So NVIDIA was up 11.5%, Meta up 6.5%, Amazon up 6.5%, Microsoft up 5.7%, Google up 5%, and Apple only up 2.6%. I mean, still trading relatively weak compared to the other ones. I mean, I think it had even gotten down to like a couple month lows. And Tesla had a really poor performance, down almost 8% for the week. So, collectively up 4% is really good. And you can see that it's kind of just kept the NASDAQ in play for the entire week, because this is over, I think, 50% of the market cap of the NASDAQ represented here. If we look at the industries for this week's breadth, there wasn't really a lot to go off of. It's flat-ish more than anything. Utilities were down 1.5%. Basic materials were down 2.3%. The rest, not really a whole lot to speak of. Okay, industrials were up 0.7, but that's nothing. Services were fractionally down. Everything else was kind of like right along the unchanged line. The subsectors, the only one that was up big is nuclear. Has been on a big run. For anyone that trades that little niche cutout of the market. Everything else, there's nothing noteworthy here. On the downside, we had a couple of sectors. EVs, led by Tesla, down 7%. We've got some, this is also related to EVs. EV charging also down 6%, but you have a slight skew maybe on the negative side. There's some more strongly negative subsectors, but nothing important. So it's not that big of a deal. If we look at the breadth by market cap, we have 1 to 5 billion cap stocks are up 15 basis points for the week. Not much to speak of. 5 to 10 billion cap stocks were up 71 basis points. 10 to 50 billion were up 34 basis points. 50 to 100 billion cap stocks were up 1.1%. So this is a pretty big deviation from the rest of the market. And 100 billion cap and up stocks were up 1.14%. So you can see anything 50 billion and up was quite a bit stronger than the rest of the market. I mean, I would call this okay. I mean, it's okay. Even these are lower than the S&P and the NASDAQ performance, being that the NASDAQ was up 3.5% and the S&P was up almost 2%. So you could say that 50 to 100 billion cap stock, or 50 billion and up stocks, were stronger than the rest of the market, but they weren't quite as strong as the index performance. So broadly speaking, I would consider the breadth slightly on the weakish side for the week. Even though you have better performance in the larger capped names. If we look at intelligence for the coming week, okay, there's not a lot here. We've got Meta bullish, semiconductors bullish, China, or short China is bullish, so bearish China. China's been just having an abysmal time for a long time. I think it's if it's not at multi-years lows, it's close to it. And we've got, this I think is bear. Gold miners is bullish this week, so maybe gold miners are gonna not do too well. We invert this to check for downside. Okay, we've got a bunch of stuff here. No, we don't. Okay. Boil. This is natty gas. So natural gas bearish. VIX bearish. Okay. FANG is bearish, broadly speaking, for the week, even though we had the Meta bullish reading. And Dow Jones Internet stocks are bearish. VIX again bearish. VIX again bearish. And JNUG gold miners bearish. So it looks like gold maybe takes a break. Probably more choppy than anything. I mean, the VIX is just on a death march to zero. I mean, what it seems like. So if the VIX is dumping, then the market is not going to have any big like fall out of bed type move. More broadly speaking, I do kind of think that the downside, breadth was weak for last week, so I kind of think that the market is not done with the early 2024 dip. I would look for kind of some weakness, at least to start the week, maybe into midweek, and then maybe bulls try to rally the market back some or whatever. But I think overall you're just going to see it be more choppy than anything. I don't think there's any big directional move to be made this week. If you missed the dip from last week, catching this little upswing that we were just on, then I don't think it's that big of a deal. You get another shot anyway. So, yeah, that's all from me. Kind of a, average up week for the market. Not a whole lot worked, but the big stuff and the right stuff worked. So, the market looked good on the surface. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'll be back next week to check it out. Hope you guys have a good week trading out there, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.